I've been a detective for 4 years. I've closed cases that other detectives walked away from. I've proven myself in rooms where I was the only woman at the table. But I've never taken over a case from a man who told the entire department I'd fail before I even started. His name was Detective Raymond Hale. 15 years on the force, respected, confident, stubborn. And when the captain reassigned his cases to me, Hale looked me in the eye and said, "Good luck, Navarro. You're gonna need it." I didn't respond. I just took the file. I opened it and got to work, because that's what I do. My name is Detective Sarah Navarro, and this is the story of how a golden retriever named Sunny proved that persistence doesn't quit just because humans do. It started in early March. A woman named Claire Donovan went missing in Glacier National Park, Montana. She was 32, environmental scientist, experienced hiker. She'd gone out alone on a research trip to collect water samples from a remote creek about 8 miles into the backcountry. She never came back. Her car was found at the trailhead, backpack still inside, phone dead, keys in the ignition. No signs of struggle, no blood, no witnesses. Search and rescue teams combed the area for 6 days. Helicopters, tracking dogs, volunteers. They found nothing. Detective Raymond Hale led the investigation. He interviewed her colleagues at the university, her family in Billings, her friends in Missoula. No enemies, no debts, no romantic entanglements, no reason to disappear. After 3 weeks, Hale classified it as a missing person case, presumed lost in the wilderness, likely fell, likely died from exposure or injury. The file went cold. Then 12 weeks later, it happened again. A woman named Monica Reyes, 28, freelance photographer, I went hiking in the same section of Glacier National Park. Same profile, solo hiker, experienced, fit. She didn't come back. Her car was found at the same trailhead, camera bag still inside, phone dead, keys in the ignition. Search and rescue went out again. Same result, nothing. Hale worked the case for 2 more weeks. Then he walked into the captain's office and requested a transfer. Said he couldn't handle it anymore. Said the cases were unsolvable. Said the wilderness had swallowed them and there was nothing more he could do. The captain called me the next day. "Navarro," he said, "I'm reassigning the Glacier cases to you." I looked at the file on his desk. 2 women, same location, same circumstances, same outcome. "Why me?" I asked. "Because Hale gave up, and I need someone who won't." I took the file, and I felt the weight of it immediately. 2 women, no bodies, no evidence, no leads. And a department full of men who thought I'd fail just like Hale did, maybe faster. I spent 3 days reviewing everything Hale had done. He'd been thorough, I'll give him that. He'd checked financials, phone records, social media, interviewed everyone who knew them. But he'd also made an assumption. He assumed both women got lost. He assumed it was an accident. He assumed there was no connection beyond the location. But I saw something he didn't. Both women were alone. Both were experienced hikers. Both disappeared on weekday mornings when the trails were nearly empty. And both had posted about their hike on Instagram the night before. Public posts, location tagged, time-stamped. That wasn't a coincidence. That was a pattern. Someone was watching. If you're still listening, thank you, and please subscribe, because what I'm about to tell you is how I almost lost everything trying to prove I was right. I requested a canine unit to re-sweep the area where both women were last seen. Officer Ethan Cross showed up with Sunny. I'd seen him around the station. Quiet, professional, good with his dog. And if I'm being honest, The kind of guy who made you look twice. But I wasn't there to flirt. I was there to find 2 missing women. Detective Navarro, he said, nodding. Officer Cross, thanks for coming out. Call me Ethan, and no problem. Sunny loves the woods. Sunny wagged her tail, looked up at me with soft, intelligent eyes. I knelt down, scratched behind her ears. Hey girl, you ready to work? She licked my hand. Ethan smiled. She likes you. Good, because I need her to find something everyone else missed. We started at the trailhead. Sunny moved methodically, nose to the ground, focused. We walked for 3 hours, checked the main trail, the side paths, the creek beds. Nothing. Then, Sunny stopped. She was standing near a cluster of pine trees about 60 yards off the main trail. Dense undergrowth, steep slope. She sniffed the ground, circled, sat. She's alerting, Ethan said quietly. I walked over, looked at the ground. It was covered in pine needles, leaves, moss, nothing unusual. What's she reacting to? I asked. Ethan knelt down, brushed away some of the debris with his gloved hand. I don't know, but she isn't a false alert. If she's sitting, there's something here. I called forensics. They arrived 2 hours later with shovels and ground-penetrating radar. They started digging. 2 feet down, they found a piece of fabric, blue, synthetic, hiking gear. This matches the description of Claire Donovan's jacket, the lead tech said. My heart raced. Keep digging. They dug for another hour and found nothing else. No body, no bones, no personal effects, just a piece of fabric. The lead tech stood up, looked at me. That's it, detective. There's nothing more here. Keep looking. We've dug 4 feet down. We've scanned the area. There's nothing. I looked at Sunny. She was still sitting, staring at the ground. The dog disagrees. The tech sighed. Dogs react to old scents, animals, decomposition from wildlife. This could be from anything. Or it could be from Claire Donovan. One piece of fabric isn't a body, detective. Then why did the dog sit? He didn't answer. He just packed up his equipment and left. I stood there staring at the hole in the ground, feeling the weight of failure pressing down on me. Ethan walked over, stood beside me. You okay? He asked quietly. No, I said. I'm not. I went back to the station that night and wrote up my report. Possible evidence recovered, further investigation required. The next morning, I was called into the captain's office. Detective Hale was already there. Navarro, the captain said, Hale tells me you found a piece of fabric and called it a breakthrough. I looked at Hale. He was leaning against the wall, arms crossed, smirking. I found evidence at a location the dog alerted to. A piece of fabric. That could have been there for years. It matches Claire Donovan's jacket. So does every blue hiking jacket sold in the last decade. I turned to the captain. The dog sat. She doesn't false alert. There's something there. You dug 4 feet down, Navarro, the captain said. Forensics found nothing. Because they stopped too soon. Hale laughed, short, sharp, dismissive. You think you know better than forensics? I think the dog knows better than all of us. The dog is an animal, Navarro. It reacts to scents. It doesn't solve cases. I felt the heat rise in my chest. That dog has found 12 bodies in 4 years. She's never been wrong. Then where's the body? Hale shot back. I didn't have an answer. The captain leaned forward. Navarro, I gave you this case because I thought you could handle it. But if you're chasing dead ends based on a dog sitting in the woods, I need to know now. I'm not chasing dead ends. I'm following evidence. A piece of fabric isn't evidence of murder. It's evidence of presence, and presence means someone was there. The captain stared at me for a long moment. Then he said, You have 1 more week. If you don't find something concrete, I'm closing both cases as unsolved missing persons. Yes, sir. I left the office. Hale followed me into the hallway. "You're wasting your time," he said. I stopped, turned to face him. "Why do you care?" "Because you're making the department look bad. You're making me look bad. You made yourself look bad when you gave up." His jaw tightened. "I didn't give up. I followed the evidence, and the evidence said there was nothing there." "Then you missed something. Or maybe you're just desperate to prove you're better than me." I stepped closer. "I don't need to prove anything. I just need to find two women who deserve answers." I walked away, and I didn't look back. I went back to Glacier the next day. Ethan and Sonny met me at the trailhead. "You sure about this?" asked Ethan. "No," I said, "but I'm doing it anyway." We hiked back to the site where Sonny had alerted. I stood there, staring at the refilled hole, and I asked myself the same question Hale had asked me. "Where's the body?" Then I looked around. The trees, the slope, the undergrowth. And I realized something. If someone wanted to hide a body in the wilderness, they wouldn't bury it in the open. They'd bury it where no one would think to look. "Ethan," I said, "can Sonny search uphill from here?" "Yeah. Why?" "Because if I were hiding something, I wouldn't bury it where people walk. I'd bury it where people don't." We moved uphill, slowly, carefully. Sonny worked the terrain, nose down, focused. 30 yards up, she stopped, sat, stared at a cluster of rocks partially covered in moss. "She's alerting again," Ethan said. I walked over, looked at the rocks. They weren't natural. They'd been placed. I started moving them, one by one. Underneath, there was disturbed soil. I called forensics again. This time, I didn't ask, I demanded. They arrived 3 hours later, the same lead tech from before. He looked annoyed. "Detective, this is the second time—" "Just dig," I said. He sighed, started working. 2 feet down, they found bone. Human bone. The tech stopped, looked at me. "Keep going," I said quietly. They dug for another hour, and they found her. Claire Donovan, buried 4 feet deep, wrapped in plastic, hidden under rocks. The tech stood up. His face was pale. "I'm sorry, Detective. We should have kept looking the first time." I didn't respond. I just stood there, staring at the grave, feeling a mix of relief and rage. Relief that I'd found her, and rage that it had taken this long. We expanded the search. 50 yards from Claire's grave, Sonny alerted again. We found Monica Reyes. Same method, same burial, same location pattern. Both women had been strangled. Both had been buried within hours of their disappearance. Forensics found trace evidence, fibers, hair, DNA. We ran it through the system. It matched a man named Kyle Brennan, 36, park ranger, worked in Glacier for 8 years. He had access. He had knowledge of the terrain. He had opportunity. And he had a pattern. He'd been monitoring social media, watching for solo female hikers, targeting women who posted their plans online. He'd approach them on the trail, offer help, gain their trust. Then he'd kill them. We arrested him 4 days later. He confessed within 6 hours, 2 counts of first-degree murder, and Sonny got a steak dinner and a medal. I think about this case every day, not because it was the hardest I've ever worked, but because it almost didn't get solved. Hale gave up. Forensics stopped digging. The department was ready to close it. But Sonny didn't move. She sat. She waited. She refused to leave until someone listened. And because of her, 2 families got answers. I didn't solve this case to prove I was better than Hale. I solved it because 2 women deserved justice, and because a dog refused to let me quit. If you made it this far, Thank you for listening. I want to ask you something. Have you ever kept going when everyone told you to stop? Leave a comment. I read every one. And if you want more stories like this, real investigations, real persistence, real justice, subscribe, because the truth doesn't always come easy, but it always comes.